as I select these, you'll notice that all of the behaviors on these objects will show up in this window. And if I select all the objects, then all the behaviors on all of the objects selected show up here. I'm working on the integration for the Retro Arsenal from Arcanor VFX. And I've noticed one issue that I need to fix here. When we have a projectile go out, they have got these trails, which are really nice, but when it collides early, the trail disappears. Now, I want that trail to stay and finish its life cycle before it goes away. So let's quickly look and see why this is happening. So on the projectile component, we have the destroy on trigger collision behavior. This will just destroy the projectile, sending it really back to the object pool after a certain number of hits. In this case, it's just going to be a single hit. That means the trail, which is part of the projectile, also, first we need to replace this with one that has a delay. Now, we do have one already in the package, and if we look at that, we can see that this one has a destroy delay of 5 seconds set, whereas the original has a destroy delay of 0. So we could select all of our objects and just delete the destroy on trigger or collision and add the destroy on collision 5-second delay. But that's tedious, and in this conversion, there are a lot of projectiles. So instead, we're going to use the new bulk edit method. So let's go up to the window, Projectile Factory, Helpers, Projectiles Quick Editor. I'm going to dock this up here. And then as I select these, you'll notice that all of the behaviors on these objects will show up in this window. And if I select all the objects, then all the behaviors on all of the objects selected show up here. We can see a lot of the common behaviors up here, and then a lot of the individual ones with the names of the objects themselves. These are all the impact explosions separated out. This allows you to bulk edit behaviors and the spawn behavior modifications on all the selected objects. So in this case, we can see that we have the destroy on trigger collision and the destroy on trigger collision 5-second delay. That's the one I just added. So we're going to find the destroy on trigger collision 5-second delay from this list here. This is alphabetical. Then on this line here, we're going to click the replace button. So it's going to be replacing all destroy on trigger or collision with destroy on trigger or collision 5-second delay. All right, and now all of these objects will have the 5-second delay version when they had the original. If they didn't have the original, like these lasers, these didn't have a destroy on trigger or collision, so they don't get the new one. Only the objects that had the original will get the 5-second delay one. Now there's one other thing we need to do to make sure these work properly. So this sparkle missile, now trail will stay and complete its life cycle, but we also have this other particle that kind of just sits there until the 5 seconds is expired, and then it just disappears. We can load up the prefab here, and we can collapse the projectile. We're going to add a toggle objects at event observer object. Observer objects are things that just watch the projectile, and then they can do things based on that. In this case, the default is the on event will be the start and launch projectile. That way it happens the first time the projectile is launched, but also on every relaunch after it comes back from the pool. And the off event will be the collision enter. Now you can set any number of events or add multiple events for this. These are just generally going to be, I think, often the most common. So they're the default ones. So we have 3 particles here, 2 trails and 1 circle. The trails we want to complete their life cycle and stay on, but the circle is the thing that was just staying there after it collided. So we're going to add that there. And then one other thing is we have the main particle system here. This is also a looping particle. We didn't really notice it with the circle there because the circle was more obvious, but this is going to be something we also need to turn on and off. Unfortunately, since it's on the main object, we can't just turn it off. So I'm going to right click on this and select Move Component to New Child Object. This is a custom menu option. It comes with Projectile Factory. So you can use this and the Move Component to New Object and Move Component to New or to the parent object to move these components up and down. In this case, it's going to create a new particle system object that just has that component on it. And it's going to remove it from the original. So we can now drag that down here as well. All right, let's check this out. There we go. So now the trails are continuing their life cycle even after the hit, but we don't see the circle or the particle itself remaining at the hit position. So that's one way to set up your particles with Projectile Factory. If you have any questions, come to the Discord, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye.